Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So in this video we will be talking about string constant pool, which is also known as string intern pool or string literal pool. So talking about string constant pool, so this topic of discussion mainly arises because whenever we are creating a string object, that particular object has to occupy some memory. So where is this object located, or where is this object stored once it is created? That entire concept we will be discussing in today's video. So basically string constant pool is nothing but a storage area in Java heap. Okay, so it is a storage area in Java heap, and where the different string literals are stored. It is also known as string intern pool or string constant pool. Now, just like in other object allocation, by default, this string constant pool is basically empty. Okay, it is empty. That means it does not have any other literals or objects within it, and it is privately maintained by the Java string class. So privately maintained by the Java string class. So when we are considering the string constant pool, we will also consider the other names for this, which is string literal pool, because this constant pool or the string pool is capable of holding all the literal values which we generally create during an object creation, or simply when we are initializing any variable, string variable, with any literal. Okay, so as already mentioned, let me write it down, that string constant pool or the string literal pool is an area in heap memory. So if we know about different types of memory and their associations with the different parts of in a program, so we will understand that it is an area in the heap memory where Java stores the string literal values. Okay, where Java stores the string literal values. Okay, we have to understand that the literal values are basically stored in our string constant pool, and the object that has been created, this is actually stored in the heap memory separately. So if suppose I have a heap memory, okay, so this is my heap memory. Within this I will have another pool or another memory or another block where my literals would be stored. Okay, where the literals would be stored. Now talking about the JVM architecture, if we look into the JVM architecture, so initially it has a class loader, then it has 5 different types of memory areas. So method area is one part, then we have heap area, this is another memory area, then we have stack memory area, then we have program counter registers, and then we have native method area. Okay, native method area. So these are the different types of memory areas which JVM provides us with, and basically the class loader is able to interact with this memory areas in order to store the values, or in order to create the objects. And out of this, so in an elaborate manner, if we have to write it down, so it has an execution engine. So execution engine basically interacts with the method area, which has an interaction with the Java native interface, and then it is backed up by the native libraries. We have discussed about this in detail in our previous videos, so you can always refer back to that video for any clarification. So these are some of the parts which a these are the parts which a JVM basically has. And if we identify the different types of memory areas, we can categorize them into 5 different types of memory areas which JVM would be working with. Now, how does this memory areas reflect in a particular program? Now, suppose I have a class. Let me write down a program class, let's say ABC, and here I have an instance integer variable which is 10, then a static variable integer b is equal to 20. Okay, and then maybe I might have a method here which says display. Okay, so void display is the method within which I have this variable 30, and there might be some other lines of code here. Okay, so I'll close this. After that, let me write down the main method here, which is public static void main and string arguments. So here let me create an object of the class ABC. Let me write it down, new ABC. Okay, then a dot display. Right, now this is the program. Now when we are talking about the different memory associations of different of these types, so the first one, which is integer a equal to 10, this is an instance variable. It will be stored in the heap area. Again, integer b, which is a static variable, it will be stored in the method area. Again, the third one, which is integer c is equal to 30, so this is basically a local variable and it will be stored in the stack area. And then the main method. Okay, so whenever we are considering the main method, it is always stored in the stack area. And then test t equal to new abc a equal to new abc. So if we are considering this particular line, so this will basically be stored in the heap area because we are creating an object. So whenever we are creating an object, it is directly stored in the heap area. Then a dot display, which is the method call, this will be stored in the stack area. Okay, so these are the different areas in which the different lines of code would be stored. Okay, in different objects and different variables would be stored. Most importantly, in our today's session or today's video, we will be talking about the heap area. Okay, because the heap area is primarily responsible for handling the string related objects and the literals. Okay, so talking about the string constant pool. So if we are talking about the string constant pool, so the string constant pool basically is a part of the heap area, So until 1.6 version of Java, okay, 1.6 version of Java, this string constant pool was inside the method area or the permanent generation area. Okay, so it was inside the method area, or we also can call it as a perm generation area. Okay, after 1.7 version, this string constant pool moved to the or was shifted to the heap area. Now, as already seen in my in the previous discussion, so this is, let's say this is the heap area inside the memory. So this heap area will basically have a heap area separately, and a string constant pool, which is basically generally referenced if it by the JVM internally if it does not have any other references associated with it. Okay, so this is the string constant pool and is maintained internally by the JVM. Okay, it is maintained internally by the JVM. So if we are talking about, let's say the let's say I'm creating, so I'll write it down here. So let me create a string object. So string A is equal to new string, and let me define a literal here with the value as literal as Java, right? So this one. So when I'm doing this, initially the location or the allocation of this object will be inside the heap area or heap memory area, and there will also be a string constant pool which is there. Now when I'm writing this statement, okay, so since I'm using the new keyword, one object which is referenced with the help of A would be created here, and this object, since it has the value as Java, it will be created inside the heap area. Now whenever this object is created, okay, one, since it has a literal value associated with it, it will also create an object inside the string constant pool for further reference. Now however, this particular object cannot be referenced, or it is not referenced using A, but it is generally referenced by the JVM internally, and it is created for future use. Okay, so this is handled entirely by JVM and it is used for future use. Now suppose I am creating another object. I am writing another statement here which is string, let's say B is equal to, let's say OOP. So this is another literal. So whenever I am writing this will create an object inside the string constant pool with the value as or literal as OOP, and this will be referenced using the B variable. Okay, so if you look at both of these statements, whenever I'm creating a new string object, an object is created in the heap area, as well as one more object is created in the string constant pool with the same literal name. However, the difference is that the object which is created inside the heap area is referenced using the string object name, but inside the string constant pool this object is basically referenced by JVM internally and it is used for further use. So in this case, in the memory, whenever we are creating a string object, basically two objects are created. However, whenever we are using simply a literal for an object and we are not creating a new object, so this particular scenario will just have one object associated with it. So there will be just one object here, and this will be inside the string constant pool or string literal pool, and it is referenced by the variable B. Okay, so this is how the objects, whenever they are created, they are basically stored inside the heap area. Now there are certain exceptions to it, like if I am writing or if I am creating another object with the same literal, what will happen? Okay, or if I am creating let's say we have another variable or string object which has a different which has the same literal. Okay, we are not creating an object, but we are having two same literals, and we are in the other scenario we are having two different objects which are having same literals. Okay, so let us see the situations here. So I will use a different color for these scenarios. Now suppose what I will do is I will try to create another object. The string C is equal to new string. Let's say I have C plus plus. Okay, so this is another literal. So whenever I am having this kind of scenario, what happens is I will be creating an object here in the heap memory as C plus plus, which will be referenced using the C variable string. Okay, which is referenced by C. Now at the same time, since I'm creating a new object, I will also be having another object here with the literal name as C++, and this will basically be referenced using C. Sorry, no, this will not be referenced using C because this will be maintained internally by JVM. Okay, so this will not be referenced by anything else, but it will be referenced by JVM, right? This is the same scenario as what we had here. Now what if I have another statement here which is saying string, let's say we have let's say string D. Okay, so if we have something like this, new string, and then again I have here as Java. So under this scenario, what will be the condition? So under this scenario, initially there will be, since I'm creating a new object, definitely there will be an object in the heap memory with this particular reference variable, that is D. So D will be pointing to Java. Now however, if we are considering this particular object creation in the string constant pool, it will now no longer create any object inside the string constant pool, because it will directly match that it already has a literal object, or it already has an object with the literal as Java. Okay, so in this particular scenario, the object which would be created would be just one. So here we have two objects, but here I will just have one object because I have already a literal inside the string constant pool with the same value. Okay, so this is one scenario in which, suppose I'm creating a new object, new string object with the same literal, then definitely there will be two separate objects in the heap memory, this one and this one, in the heap memory having two different reference variables. But as far as string constant pool object is considered for that particular literal, another literal will not be created, or another object will not be created inside this pool, because it already has a literal with the name as Java, which is maintained internally by the JVM. So this we have to be very careful about, or this is basically done what happens in the backend. Okay, so this string constant pool, the objects which are created inside this pool, they are entirely for different purposes. That means for further uses, for further and future use. So we will also see this how in projects we can implement these kind of objects. Definitely whenever the developers have facilitated, Java developers, they have facilitated us with these kind of facilities, that means it needs to have certain purpose, right? So that purpose we will be discussing later in our subsequent sessions. But as of now, we have to remember that whenever we are creating an object, a string object, using the new keyword, definitely that particular object is created inside the heap area or heap memory, as well as one more object is created inside the string constant pool with the same literal. Now if there are same literals for two different objects, there will be two different objects which will be created inside the heap area, but inside the string constant pool there will be no separate object. Okay, so this is one condition. The next condition would be if for the second type of object creation. So whenever I am creating another object, so let's say string b is equal to OOP, as already said, we will not be having any object inside the heap area. We will directly be having an object inside the string constant pool where this literal would be stored. Okay, now suppose I have another situation which is saying that string e is equal to, let's say I have Python. So under this scenario, what happens? There will be no other objects which will be created here. Instead, there will be one literal object that will be created as Python inside the heap area, and this will be referenced using the e variable. Okay, and this will also have just one object inside the SCP. Only that much of memory is needed. Now suppose I am using a different one. Let's say f is equal to, and I am having the same literal as b. Now what happens under this scenario? Under this scenario, there will be no separate creation of object inside the SCP. Instead, both b and f will be pointing to the same object which is there inside the SCP. That means OOP was already defined for b. Now it will also be defined, f will also be referencing to the same literal inside the string constant pool. So this is how basically string constant pool takes care of the object creation in strings, where whenever we are creating an object, string object, using the new keyword, we get two different objects if the literals are different for both the object. However, if we are using only literal, that means we are not creating a new object and we are just associating a literal to a particular string object, then that particular object is created inside the string constant pool. And we also saw about the different types of allocation of memory as far as the string objects are concerned. Okay, so string constant pool is a very useful concept when it comes to Java programming, because in order to make use of the different types of variables and different types of objects, we actually need to understand how it is stored. Okay, and basically we also have to understand how we can reuse that particular object again and again, so that we do not have to depend much on more object creations, because the more the number of objects are created, the more complicated that particular program would become, and it will occupy more number of or more amount of space inside the memory. Okay, so we have to understand how it is used, and we saw that how heap area and string constant pool, they work in accordance with each other in terms of memory allocation to any string object. So this is all for today's session. We will talk more about the string constant pool, and we'll also talk about why strings are immutable. String objects are basically immutable, which we already discussed in our previous video. So we will talk about those immutable strings in our next video. Okay, so thank you.